Hello and welcome everyone. Good evening. My name is Dr. Sandeep Arora and I am the Chief Growth Officer at Tradelab. On behalf of Tradelab, I welcome everyone for today's session on launching a crypto perpetual exchange in 12 weeks. As we all know, crypto markets have evolved very rapidly, but one segment has grown faster than almost any other, and that's the crypto perpetual exchange. Today, perpetual contracts account for the majority of crypto trading volumes globally, attracting traders, institutions, and technology innovators alike. Over the next 35 minutes, we'll walk through how a fully functional crypto perpetual exchange can be planned, built, integrated, tested, and launched in as little as 12 weeks, covering the technology, infrastructure, compliance, operations, and go-live considerations that matter most. So thank you for joining us. On behalf of Tradelab, we are all excited to share practical insights from the front lines of exchange technology. Just a quick check on if you have any questions and answers, please put it under Q&A, and we will be answering those towards the end. So let's get started with an introduction of the speaker for today. Our speaker today is Mr. Biplab Sinha. He is the CEO and founder of Tradelab Technologies. He is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur, and over the last 15 years, he's built a business focusing around the market infrastructure in equity, derivatives, and crypto. He's also architected a lot of IPs in this particular space, like Opter, Blitz, etc., working with extremely reputed clients. And Biplab has managed to set a name for himself in the market and the industry. He's seen as somebody who's extremely experienced and visionary. We really thank you, Biplab, for taking time out today out of your busy schedule. So with that, any further ado, I hand it over to you. Thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks a lot for this introduction. And not out of my busy schedule. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us. Good evening. Okay, I am Biplab Sinha, and I will be walking you through this webinar where we are going to present how to set up a perpetual exchange in just 12 weeks. Okay. So this is the agenda for today's, and finally, what you are going to take out of this webinar is you will be able to know at the end of webinar whether it is difficult, whether it is easy, or whether it is some kind of value addition when you are going to propose a business of launching crypto perpetual exchange. So I will just start the presentation with the agenda. I will talk something about my company, the market opportunity of crypto exchanges. What is a perpetual exchange? What does it mean? How does it work? What you are actually building if you are looking to build one. How are we going to do it in 12 weeks? What are some of the critical areas or activities that you must take care of? What are the hidden challenges that you must be aware of? A comparison between build versus buy. We'll take a deep dive on the Tradelab platform that we have. We'll also consider a live case study of Cosmic.trade. And then we'll finally look at the commercials. What kind of commercials are there when you are looking to launch a crypto exchange? Okay, so Tradelab Technologies is a company which is in capital market domain for more than 15 years, and it is founded by me and my friends. We have HDFC Sky as our key turn client, where we are servicing HDFC Sky to install application which can be serviced in the stock market side, providing a retail solution for people looking to invest in NSE, NFO, MCX, all Indian exchanges. We have more than 20 plus brokers in our portfolio. Cosmic is a live crypto exchange, which is doing more than 4 million trades, orders per day. Uh, a glimpse of our product suite. We have Pi, which is basically a trading terminal uh, platform, which sits on top of any backend application. Primus is the backend application on which Pi sits on. We also have Opter and Blitz. Basically, these are two versions of a similar product. Opter is something which is in the regulated side, and crypto is more of in the perpetual side. Blitz is more on the crypto perpetual side. So we have, very good depth of domain. We have run a fully regulated Nepal stock exchange. So we know the functioning of an exchange from ground level. We have been servicing clients in the stock market domain. So we know how the market works, how the application works. We have a very deep understanding of taking a client live, running operations for a client. So kind of we are accountable for live operations as well. And we have been into this partnership for quite some time now. So we have spent close to 15 years in this domain. So what is a crypto perpetual exchange? So a perpetual derivative, ideally a derivative is something that expires. It has expiry date. And a perpetual derivative is something that has no expiry date, which means that basically a perpetual future contract or an option contract will expire, but the same rolling contract can come over, and the positions can be carried forward, which means that the settlement takes place every 8 hours. And there is a concept called funding rate, which is applicable, which provides you a continuous future platform. And, you know, uh, the settlement which is happening on a crypto perpetual exchange is usually, in one currency. So it is not something like you are going to deposit Bitcoin or you're going to deposit any digital asset, and against that you are going to get leverage. So it is just the local currency which you are going to deposit and the local currency you are going to withdraw. So if we talk about Indian exchanges, they facilitate INR deposit and INR withdrawal. It is a very highly leveraged market. So usually the crypto exchanges which are running around the world has a leverage of 200x in certain digital assets like BTC, Ethereum. But usually it is very high for other as well. 50x, 100x is common. It is, and in the regulation terms, the local KYC AML values, local KYC AML integrations are done in every exchange. For India, we have a digital KYC. For, say, for example, if you go to UAE, you will have a different kind of KYC integration. And every wherever you are going to set up a crypto exchange, whichever part or whichever geography will have its own KYC integration. So it gives a kind of confidence to the local authorities as well that you are not using um, any external deposit. You are using fiat deposit and you are withdrawing fiat, and you have a proper KYC AML in place. Okay. So, that is the reason why perpetual exchange is becoming popular. Uh, Talking about the market opportunity, crypto exchanges around the world has, more than $80 trillion of turnover year on year, and it's increasing at a rate of 12%. So, the reason we have already discussed that the local authorities are pushing uh, discarding. Basically, they are discouraging spot exchanges. So perpetual exchanges are becoming popular. There is a product expansion which is going on. Every individual is looking to invest in a different asset class. There's a particular trader migration that is also happening. So all these factors are pushing crypto perpetual exchanges uh, in the different parts of the world. Okay, talking about India, we have more than $600 million turnover daily basis. Okay, I think most of you know how the trading works, and preps are no different. You have someone, a trader places an order, it passes through a risk check, and then it goes to the exchange. The exchange will find the best match for your order. If there is a counter seller, if you're buying and there is a counter seller at the same rate, then the exchanges will match your order and provide a fill. Post a fill is provided, you will have a position management working on the sites, and there will be a funding rate which is also working on the sites when we are talking about preps only. Um, so most of you are not aware about the funding rate. So when we are looking to trade in futures, then there is an inherent feature in futures which is basically expiring. So in order that preps don't expire, the prices of futures is adjusted with spot every 8 hours. And basically this 8 hour is something that you can also define it. Okay, you can have your own timeline to define, settlement. So every 8 hours, the prices are settled against spot. And that difference is adjusted in your PNL, which means that if you are buying, usually if you are buying, then you will end up paying money. And if you are paying the funding rate, and if you are selling, you will end up receiving the funding rate. There's a concept of mark price. Mark price is usually the prices of um, an asset across different exchanges, and that is kind of adjusted with the prices on your exchanges. So it gives you a trend that how the global exchanges are moving. So when you see the market price, you will be able to see how the exchanges are moving globally. And obviously the trade price is something how the your current exchange, your exchange is trading and the trade price is generated. There are two more concepts. One is liquidation and one is leverage. Again, leverage is something that you have 100 rupees and you can trade with 2 lakh, or you have 1,000 rupees, you can trade with 2 million. And liquidation is something that whenever your minimum margin is breached. So if you have started taking a position, if you have taken a position and your minimum margin is breached, your positions will be liquidated. So basically, liquidation and leverage are the key things of a prep exchange. You know, having a very strong liquidation engine is very important, because managing leverages up to 200x is something that you need to act very quickly, and the positions must be liquidated, in order to save the chances of loss of at the exchange end. Okay, so say for example, you are looking to build an exchange. So what are the components that you will have to build in order to launch an exchange? So primarily what we understand from our system is these 7 things which are absolutely critical. There may be other things, but without these 7 categories, it will not be possible for anyone to launch a crypto exchange. The first is the heart of the exchange is matching engine. Particularly, a matching engine is a component that has to be very fast, which means that a matching engine cannot run in parallel. You cannot match BTC orders in two different threads or two different machines or two different locations. You have to match BTC order in one single pipeline, which creates a problem that if your matching engine is slow, your matches will be slow, and eventually the overall consumption at the exchange level will be slow. So if, for instance, if the matching engine is 20 microseconds, then it can match around 50,000 BTC orders per second. And if the matching engine is around 1 microsecond, then it can match around 10 lakh orders per second. So that is very critical thing, that it has to be very fast in order to accept, large volume of orders. The second component is the risk and margin engine. Um, so basically, the risk is something that is handled at two steps. One, before taking a position. Two is after taking a position, which means that every time you take a position, you will go through a series of margin calculation. And then if the order is permitted, it will be sent to exchange. Post is something that the market is changing frequently, the prices are changing. Your position is going into profit or loss is determined by the post-trade risk management. And this risk management is also equipped with a liquidation engine, which is our third component. So risk management and liquidation should work hand in hand in order to ensure that the brokers or the exchange interest is maintained. The fourth component is funding rate, index calculation, and mark price calculation. Particularly in cryptos, because we are globally connected, and every exchange, the BTC rate in every exchange should be same. You will have to maintain certain kind of mark price on your exchange, and every 8 hours you will have to adjust it with the funding rate. So your trading prices or positions of the client will be adjusted, the P&Ls will be adjusted every 8 hours, and that value will be derived from the prevailing prices, which is ideally a mark price. Generally, people use mark price for calculating the difference. Again, we have order management system. So when a trader is pushing order to exchange, then a life cycle has to be maintained for each and every order. And that is basically order management system. It's not very complicated system, but it is one of the essential systems that you need to have. And you should have a lot of redundancy, because when a trader enters the order in the system, the trader will not be able to track that order unless you maintain a proper state and you provide regular or proper updates on the order state change. So that is how a trader tracks his order. And any drop or any kind of glitch in the system can obviously create a reputation loss or some kind of dissatisfaction among your clients. So this is again a very important component. The sixth component is KYC, wallet, and payment rails. So again, these are compliance components. Whether you are setting in any geography, the authorities will want you to operate in a very clean way. So for that, the money coming to the exchange bank account, the money going out of the bank account has to be maintained with a proper, identification, who is giving and who is taking out. So for that, you will have to have KYC integration. AML is something we are not allowing customers who are involved in money laundering to create on your platform. And then finally, you have admin, operations, and surveillance. Surveillance, I can give you an example. So say for example, a client is buying, there's a stock where you have very low liquidity. A client is buying, another is selling, jerking the price up, creating any kind of anomaly, and then creating a demand in market, and then, uh, doing some kind of spoofing in that stock, manipulating the rates. All that can happen if you do not have a proper surveillance system. Okay. So, so setting up a crypto exchange, ideally it is, you know, this is something that, I'm sorry, this is something that requires a very strong discipline. Okay. Whenever you start setting up a crypto exchange, the first thing you will have to know what all things you will need. In India, you will need some kind of FIU regulation. Okay, you will need that certificate. If you are based out of US, then you will need FinCEN regulation and state regulations. If you are in UAE, you will need some kind of WARA license, I think so. And then, you will need very strong KYC and AML integration. So you will have to have all these requirements at your end. Then, wherever who is your vendor, you have to interact with them. You have to scope the requirements that you want to bring into the exchange. You will have a commercial discussion with them. Okay. Then, post that, you will need a platform deployment in UAT environment where you will have all kind of integrations like KYC and all, and then certain UI customizations that you need. And finally, in the 10th or 11th week, so we have spent close to 10 week in just discussion, scoping, and platform integration. And finally, in the 10th week, you will have something to see in the test environment. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks more, you will be good to launch. So, this is a very, very disciplined kind of tight schedule. Okay. So, it usually takes 12 to 18 weeks. We have kind of this SOP developed where you will take minimum time. So we'll get to that. A few critical things like whenever you are looking to set up an exchange, uh, local KYC AML provider is something that you should have or you must be aware of. Okay, all the regulations. This is something which is non-negotiable. If you are not able to uh, if you're not able to uh, get these kind of integrations, then eventually you will end up in the authorities' hand. So this is something which is non-negotiable. Setting up the payment rails. Crypto exchanges around the world have time settlement. We call it T+0 settlement. So basically what it means is that the deposits must get reflected immediately and the payouts must happen immediately. So there's no concept of settlement time. It is instantly settled. You will need a market maker. Whenever you're launching an exchange, you will have a limited set of customers and you will have an uneven requirement. There will be less buyers and more sellers and more buyers and less sellers. So there always be a very, very unequal requirement. And that is why you will need market makers who can populate orders on behalf of exchanges or, as a liquidity provider, they will be able to provide a liquidity on both sides of the book. They will be able to set up buyer liquidity and seller liquidity. So anyone who is trading, they will be trading against the market maker. Not always, but most of the time. You will also need to do a deep dive understanding of trade surveillance, what all things you need to build on the trade surveillance side based on your geography as well. Okay, to detect wash trades, spoofing, and all that. There are compliances in India which you need to take care of. Then, if you are in any other geography, you need to understand that trade surveillance requirement. We have a very exhaustive list of trade surveillance. So there's something that is that we can build on, and that can be add, more rules can be added. And then there is a funding rate calibration. So as we have spoken about it, every 8 hours, you will have to balance your or position. You will have to balance the position P&L against the spot prices. So each and every trader position will be balanced with the spot prices. Okay, some of the hidden challenges. So if you are working in any regulation where the authorities are not giving you a very clear-cut path of legally running a crypto exchange is one of the greatest challenges that I see, launching a crypto exchange in regulation. Liquidity, like getting a very good market maker, incentivizing the market makers are something that, you know, you will have to look forward to. You will have to have a very, very lucrative or very sound incentive for your market makers. You should have very, very, having a very good book, having a very heavy liquidity is something which is going to bring a lot of customers. Uh, you will also have to track the performance of the application, which means that how your application is going to perform beyond a certain number. Okay. And if you have a process of scaling up your server, then you can always say that, if it has performed for a certain number of orders, it will perform for, many more orders. So do a 5x testing of your expected load. And usually the latency spike should not be more than 200 ms, which means that the blink of an eye is around 200 ms. If you process a order more than 200 ms, it will be visible in your front end. If you are processing your order within 200 ms, it gives a very, very good vibe and feeling to end customer. Because obviously we are talking about crypto perpetuals. This Whenever a trader comes to a platform, they will look for the authenticity of the platform. So having a very sound setup is very important. Anything which creates any kind of confusion among the traders is not good for reputation. And there are other two things like liquidation and reputational risk, which means that having a very, very sound liquidation system, and any glitch in the liquidation system can actually wipe out the entire exchange. So there has to be proper liquidation SOPs in your system, margin maintenance rules. You have to ensure that if a client who is trading on your system, and there are two clients trading on your system. One is the buyer and other the seller. So out of one, the one goes in loss may not pay back to the exchange. Okay. The other will always demand who is making money. So having a proper liquidation system will ensure that you don't end up paying from your pocket, because the one who is demanding the profit, you have to ensure settlement. The one who has entered into a loss may not pay you, and there is no regulation to get the money back. So having a sound liquidation system, ensuring that there's no cascade effects, is very important. Reputational risk, again, this is something you have to ensure that we are working in a setup, and the moment we say it's a crypto exchange, people think that there's some kind of Ponzi scheme going around. So creating a reputation is very important, because as far as you know exchanges are concerned around the world, there are various regulated entities which have been set up. So FIU in India is regulating these kind of operations. So having a very, very sound reputation on your platform, having proper payouts are some kind of things that you need to ensure. If you are looking to build, then this is a comparison where I can give you an idea. Even in the era of AI, it will take significant amount of time to go live if you're trying to build an exchange. Usually, I'm taking around 12 to 18 months, but a tested product between 18 to 24 months is something where we are targeting. Okay, you will need a massive team size as well. You will need 30 to 60 people, and those people must have like 15, 20 people who are an expert in this domain. There is an upfront capex which we are looking to infuse for the next 2 years. At least, you will have engineers, you will have setup server charges, you will end up paying $5, $6 million upfront. And then at the end of the second year, you will notice that the budget has shot up by at least 4 or 5 million. So we are looking anywhere between 8 to $15 million of expense. Lastly, if you go to launch a crypto exchange which is built, there will be a lot of issues like scaling up, uh, database issues, or there can be something which you cannot imagine, and these will kind of expose a production risk on the system. As compared to that, if you are looking to launch an exchange where you are procuring a commercial license from a third party, then basically you are looking for, like 12 to 18 weeks of time, a limited number of people to manage the operations, and a fraction of the cost. You're not going to spend like $8 million. And the probability that the application will fail is very low, because these commercial platforms are already operational. They have seen a lot of customers, and they have evolved their platform. They have a very, very deep background of deep domain of running an exchange. So apart from the time, apart from the cost that you are incurring, you are saving on the time, and which is actually very huge opportunity cost. So here we are going to take a glimpse of Cosmic.Trade. So Cosmic.Trade is a platform where our client is doing roughly 4 million orders per day. Okay. And it is growing. Almost there is 50,000 concurrent logins. And, obviously the exchange matching engine has like 20 microseconds of latency. We are optimizing it further. Uh, we have a very, very sound liquidation engine. It is very scalable. You can run it horizontally. You can scale it horizontally. The APIs and all that stuff, yeah, we have WebSockets, we have REST API for integration. So all modern kind of APIs are available. So even if you are looking to run any strategy on Cosmic, it is possible. Okay, and even if the exchange is offering brokership, you can have a different UI UX on top of it. So that is something that facilitates a lot other brokers on top of exchange. So it basically depends from model to model. So this is a typical Cosmic dashboard. You can see we have account balance in one. So you can see $170 is your account balance. And then you have some kind of Cosmic AI, market sentiment. You have top gainers, top losers, market view. On the left-hand side, you will be able to see a lot of menus. Okay, like when you click on terminal, you will be able to navigate to the trading page of asset. You'll be able to select more assets from there. Okay, so how does this Cosmic Exchange is deployed? So apart from the application, you will also need a very uh, very nice deployment architecture. Okay, which means that the application should be deployed in such a way that either it is very easy to manage it and it is very easy to scale it, and there has to be a proper reporting system. So our deployment architecture has four layers of deployment. The first layer is the exchange layer. So there is a team which takes care of the exchange trading core. It ensures that there is matching engine deployed. It ensures the mic prices are properly calculated. The funding rate is properly calculated. The liquidation engine is running properly. There is another team which takes care of the order layer and the risk management, pre-trade risk management, which basically means that you have a layer of pre-trade risk checks, position checks. Okay, then there is certain kind of fee calculation and all that. And there is a margin engine, which is, a part of the system. The third layer is the client management system, which means anyone who is trying to interact with the server of Cosmic or an exchange will, first interact with the CMS, which has KYC, which has SSO logins, which has all kind of security controls built, and then it passes on the request to the OMS layer, and the OMS can pass or reject the order to the exchange. And then finally, you have web terminal, mobile apps, admin console, REST APIs, WebSocket APIs. So this is a four-layer system, and there is a dedicated team who is handling each and every layer. And then you can have, the auxiliary systems, so which are also relevant and like payment, KYC, market data, trade surveillance. Uh, Although these are, trade surveillance is something that, your exchange is generating trades and sending it to some system, and the trade surveillance is running. So it is something which is not a real time. Okay, it generates a report on certain intervals. Market data service is basically, someone who is trying to um, consume data coming from Cosmic. They will be We will be exposing API to those services. For instance, there is a analysis platform which wants to consume certain kind of data from. So we just need to expose certain kind of interface to them. Either it is WebSocket API or through the messaging channel. And then there are KYC integrations and payment rails. Okay, you all can go to cosmic.trade. You can, explore the platform. Um, but in order to just give you a stats that we are almost processing 4 million trades a day. We have our servers utilized to not more than 60%. We have more than 50,000 logins per day. So, what needs to be built and what we already have. We already have the exchange setup ready, which means that we have uh, the matching rules, we have the risk liquidation engine, we have the settlement system ready, we have the trading terminal charts, admin console ready. What needs to be built is the KYC module. Every local authority will have their own KYC model. So if you are looking for any kind of integration in Indian exchanges, we have that setup ready. If you are looking for US based, you will have a different KYC integration. The payment rails are again a different kind of integration. If you are looking for, INR integration, I think there are certain banks which are providing it. If you are looking for uh, US based exchange, certainly you will have to look for certain banks who can provide that integration. So, particularly talking about Tradelab, uh, crypto perpetual exchange, we have three kind of commercial engagement. Okay. One is that we give you the platform and you have full control and ownership of how you want to run it. And this is basically how you want to deploy it and run it. The second is that we offer a managed services setup where we give you the platform and we manage the infrastructure for you. The third is a kind of a license of the source code where we will be able to give you the complete source code and you will be able to build on top of it. Okay, so how do we move forward? So if you're looking to explore, to set up a crypto exchange, what you need to do is this. You need to get to connect with us. Usually, we'll show you the demo. We'll show you all the details of the platform. Usually, it takes like 1 hour to 1.5 hours. We'll give you an idea of do's and don'ts, what is required, what not is required. Then you can go back, discuss with your team, come up with a detailed scoping. We'll help you. You can engage with us. We can, scope the requirement from your end. We prepare a live demo for you, okay? Where we are going to show you more details about the platform. There's a commercial agreement that we go off, and then we can start working on the project. Thank you, everyone. I think the Q&A section will be open for questions.
Thank you very much, Biplab. This was very insightful and a very different
Thank
topic,
you.
of course. I mean, we do have a question for you here from Mr. Vijay Sahu, who's basically asking that mutual funds and SIPs, etc., are kind of running at a low already, and these are all traditional sort of investment directions.
Right,
So,
right.
so therefore, what's your opinion? I mean, is it a good time for a broker to be, uh, you know, um, to be prospecting to enter leverage crypto trading, or is it early or late? What's your opinion on this?
See, what I feel is that the trader is someone who is going to decide what they want. Okay. Uh, Basically, trading is primarily where we are not looking for investment ideas. When we are talking about crypto perpetuals, we are not looking for investment ideas. Rather, we are looking for trading based on certain strategy and all. So if, when we are talking about mutual funds and we are talking about cash, we are basically thinking from an investment perspective. Here, primarily, we are thinking from a market volatility perspective. People who are volatility traders are, uh, you know, can, uh, can correlate this better, that, why we need a perpetual exchange, or why we need such kind of asset class. Does that answer your question? Means basically I'm looking for, volatility. If someone is trading in perpetuals, they are looking for more volatility. Okay.
Thank you. We have another question from Ms. Seema Mehta, which is how can a new exchange compete with established players in the market like Binance, Bybit, etc.? So,
Okay.
what kind of USPs do you think are not being serviced as of today?
I think, yeah, this is very fair, that how do we compete with global exchanges? One is, the technology is changing and evolving very fast. So, the kind of, you know, the kind of technology that we are bringing is something which is new. Okay. We are promoting a very low latency exchange. We are promoting huge volume. Basically, we are promoting stress-free deployment and management that will not burden any broker to maintain the infrastructure. And like in terms of USPs, I think one of our greatest USP is lowest latency feed distribution. So the moment a trade happens, it is distributed to the end trader in lowest possible latency. And scalability is one of our USPs. We allow servers and we allow application to scale seamlessly. So no matter how much clients is onboarded, you know, uh, it will not fail. And the third thing is, we are talking about setting up exchanges in the local regulation. So, for a larger exchange like Binance and Bybit, setting up an exchange in India is, or any local regulation, is something that will take significant amount of time. For someone who is working inside India, they will relatively consume lesser time.
I see. So, there
We
are a
have one
couple of
more
other
question.
questions. There are a couple of other
Okay.
questions. Uh,
How long does it take typically to become profitable? Okay. It usually depends on how quickly you can bring clients on your platform. So if you are doing uh, roughly, um, let me just calculate it. I will give you an answer. Uh, okay, if you are roughly doing around 50 to 60 crore of daily turnover, you will be profitable. And in order to do that, I think you will need around 10,000 clients trading on your platform. That's it.
so, one of the other questions which was coming in my mind, Biplav,
Hmm.
was what are some of the biggest operational risks in running a perpetual exchange today? I know you spent a lot of time in highlighting risk and compliances.
Uh, I think the regulation risk is something which is, I think, to my thought process, the regulation risk is one of the greatest risks. You have to analyze regulations very, very carefully. You have to have a strong compliance team at your place. Um, and then the second risk, which I think is, we often underestimate market makers. Market makers are someone who are, who facilitate liquidity. And if there is sufficient liquidity, then you have a very hit exchange. If there is low liquidity and people are not able to trade on your platform, that is something, you will take your business down. So primarily there are two risks: regulatory risk and the risk of liquidity.
Okay. And you spoke about Cosmic being one of the success stories of Tradelab where you have implemented.
Right, right.
Do you have some highlights of that as to what kind of went right and how can you? So let's say if you were to do it again,
Mhm.
would you do it in the same way or would there be something else that you do differently?
Uh, so I think it can be done better. Okay. I would say that Cosmic is doing great, and they can still do better. They can launch more asset classes. They're currently on futures only, and they're looking to launch options. So this is one area. The second area is having a very strong market maker is something which is lacking in Indian markets. We have only very few players in market making segment. So I think I would focus more on market making when I am thinking of launching an exchange. So market making will be my main focus.
Okay. Right. I think we're reaching the top of the hour. So maybe I can ask one more question, which is here,
Okay.
which is regarding Bitcoin. How is Bitcoin ownership verified on Cosmic Exchange? Since
Okay.
Bitcoin has has a
This
fixed
is a
maximum supply.
perpetual.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just go ahead. Complete the question.
Yeah, I think you're going in the right direction. So yeah.
So basically, it's a perpetual exchange. There is no holding of Bitcoin. It's just the position. It's everything is futures, cash settled, which means that if you are buying Bitcoin, then you're actually taking a position, like a future position in Bitcoin. And secondly, what was the second question?
Yeah, that was primarily the question, that how is the Bitcoin ownership verified in terms of custody, trade
Okay,
settlement,
okay,
etc. To which the answer is we are not buying a Bitcoin here. We are just leveraging a position. Correct.
right, right, correct, correct.
And
So,
can fix also be implemented, or is it just web stocks and APIs? Is another question asked by Aditya.
yeah, yeah, we already have some kind of fixed implementation done. Uh, so this is not a challenge. Fix
Can
can
be
also
done,
be
right?
implemented. Yeah, yeah, and it can be exposed to any third party uh, partners or something like that when you're launching.
Okay. Excellent. I think we are at the time. So if there are any further questions, please send it to sales@tradelab.in and we will have it answered. And once again, Biplab, thank you very much. And thank you, a big thanks to all the attendees who could make it to attend our webinar. I really appreciate. Please keep watching the space and we'll be coming up with new and practical tips of managing and walking through this extremely complicated industry of capital markets, etc. So thank you very much again. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.